Go. 1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody, one and all. Welcome once again to another installment of this, A Rebel Without Applause, coming to you as I always do from my nutshell of infinite space, my four walls, my television studio apartment right here in the Wood of the Holly. And today I have a very special guest, probably the most special guest I've ever had. She's, well, let's put it this way. I've known her since her original ultrasound image when she was in her mother's belly some years back, and she's with me today as a full-grown adult, totally emancipated recording artist, an emerging pop star. She's with me right now, right here, across this digital divide known as the Zoom. Welcome, one and all, and everybody, Leah Kate. How are you, sweetheart?
Hello, thank you so much for having me on the show. So excited. This is such an honor to be
Uh-huh.
on your podcast. I'm great. Just here in my studio I'm building. It hasn't come together much yet, but yeah, I'm good. Just in my office where I write songs and do lots of stuff. Yeah.
And so, for folks that don't know, Leah is a singer and a songwriter, and she's. I feel like having watched you in the last few years, you're incredible because you're a self-invented person. You've sort of created yourself out of your own imagination, and here you are, and you're blowing up. The world's just finally catching up with you. So, just tell the folks you're a singer and a songwriter. And what's that all about today in this new world we're living in?
I'm a singer, songwriter, content creator. I don't know, whatever you would like to call me, but yeah, singer, songwriter. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because now in 2020, like all we really have is digital and doing things on computer screens
Mm-hmm.
um, because touring obviously is no longer a thing. So you really just have to like be constantly doing everything you can to like get your music or whatever heard. I mean, you can't be lazy anymore. I spent all year really trying to get my song, which I was like, I feel like this is a hit. I feel like there's something to this. And I spent countless hours and hours and hours and hours reaching out to creators and finding investors for marketing dollars and doing everything I can to like really get my song heard, and it's finally now having a moment and went viral all over the world and exploded, just hit almost like 15 million streams on Spotify. And it just it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of grinding, and you have to wear a lot of hats. Like, I'm an independent artist. I don't really have management right now. I have no label, I have no team. It's just me. So I have to be my record label, my publicist, my label, my management, my everything. And it's a lot because I just want to like focus on the songs and write music and do that. But I've had to wear like a lot of hats, especially this year in 2020 when it's like everything you're doing is just online. But it's fun and rewarding. So
So you're at once the artist and the salesman, or like I say, it's the artist warrior paradigm. If you're not willing to fight for your art in the marketplace, then maybe that art isn't really worth it. So it tests you. It tests not just your creativity, but it tests all of yourself, whether it's the marketing, the business sides, the sales side. And you seem to have all of that. And maybe you were biologically or genetically gifted between your father and your uncle and your grandfathers and Warner Brothers, that you kind of knew intuitively right off the bat that just being an artist wouldn't be enough. You'd have to get out there. And I think this whole moment, this social moment we're in for creative people, demands from all of us who have creative instincts to adapt and survive. Now, the song that people you're referring to on Spotify is a hit by any standard. It's called Fuck Up the Friendship, and that's the tune. And I would urge everybody to find it and listen to it? And where can you just as a way to kind of deep dive into Leah Kate for those few people that haven't done that already, where's the best way that they can kind of get into what you're about musically and otherwise?
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, anywhere. Just type in Leah Kate, fuck up the friendship. What either of those will bring you to my page. On Instagram, I'm at Leah. On TikTok, I'm Leah Kate Music. You can find me everywhere. So just type in.
Type it in and there you are. Now, nowadays, like when I was coming up and I would go to buy an album, it would be a record, there'd be 10, 12, 8 songs, whatever. But now it's like each song is its own release. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, singles are really good because I'm obviously a developing artist and finding my fan base. Although it's greatly, grown in the last couple of months. Obviously, I'm no Ariana Grande. So putting out a body of work with 17 songs, like to get one person to listen to that is going to be much more difficult than just putting out one song, which is 2.5 minutes. And I love singles because I love to just create a story around one song and do the art and the visuals and like there's so much. All my songs are about my life and true just things that I'm experiencing, and I write them from the heart. So I love to create a world around a single, and you can obviously do the same around an album, but like there's so much that goes into one song that I like to create a world around it, visually, creatively, everything. So I just love singles because you can just focus on like that one song and that one meaning, and it's just super fun. And yeah, I'm a single type of gal, but I'm going to be releasing like an EP album later this year. Just right now, focus on singles.
So when you say an EP album, is this going to be a brand new set of songs that doesn't include the Grave, So Good, What the Fuck, Visions, and Fuck Up the Friendship?
New set of songs, yeah.
A new set of songs.
But
So you
a body of work built around Fuck Up the Friendship because, that's kind of my vibe, my style. So, yeah.
around that kind of style of music.
Yeah.
You're not going to focus on the same friendship that you apparently fucked up, though.
My next single is actually about him as well. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be a different concept, but my next song is called Boyfriend. And that's, my boyfriend is who Fuck Up the Friendship is about. So, of course, it can cover the same content matter, but from different angles. Because,
So we've, in the last year and then beyond that, we've lived in this incredibly politically contentious moment. It's hard to ignore with the COVID and the presidential election and all the drama associated with that and the controversy but your stuff seems to still say, and I welcome that, focused on the intimate, on the personal, on relationships. It's almost like a retreat from all this social madness that's swirling around. When you deep dive into Leah Kate, you're in what I would call a somewhat more intimate canvas. Is there any logic to that, or is there any choice behind that? How does that happen?
I was super torn about releasing music this year because everything would come at such a bad time. First, like my first single was when COVID was really blowing up in March. And then like all of the riots in June was when Fuck Up the Friendship was coming out. I was like, oh my God, this is the worst time to put out music. Like, our focus should be elsewhere. And then like it just always came with like there's something else going on that like was obviously not great, but my music to me is like the creative and like fun and that people need. I thought that people like would want good music and like an escape to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why I was like, okay, I'm still going to put my music out and not let what's happening in the world around me stop me, because I think people still need good music and content and whatnot. So I stuck with it.
Yeah, well, you can only be true. Everybody can only be creative in their own way. You can't be all things to every person. You kind of have to just track in your groove. I can say for myself as a comedian, for most of my career as a stand-up, I was just obsessed with the personal, with boys and girls, relationships, love lost, love looking for, love everything, sexuality. That was my canvas for sure. But
right.
Within the last few years, 4 years, I've just felt like, for me as a comedian, as someone who's a merchant of mirth, a social commentator of sorts, that it was a moment where I had to really broaden my view and look at the social consequences of the events that were swirling around me, hence the podcast and all the stuff that I've been doing. So I want to kind of get into what makes Leah tick and talk and the whole thing. And I think we got to start with origins. I've known you your whole life, and I just wanted to kind of ask you to think about and share maybe how the first sort of impulses you may have had as a young person that made you think, I want to live a creative, I want to sing, or I want to act, or I just want to know when those impulses and thoughts started to come to you about who you thought you might be.
Yeah. God, I like wanted to be honestly a singer-songwriter, just like it was something like my heart always desired. Starting at, I think I was like 3 or 4. Like I would, see different like 1-800 commercials for artists and like selling their CDs. And I'd
Hmm.
be like, I want to do that one day. And it was always just in me, and I loved to sing. I was always singing, and I would like blast Christina Aguilera and try and match her runs, vocal runs that she would do. And there's I loved music and I loved to sing. I was just always singing. I was singing before I could like speak. And then when I was like 10, 11, super young, I started really like Jake was playing the drums, and we, built that little studio
Uh huh.
and started writing songs together. And, that really was like gave me the opportunity. Like we wrote started making these like dance pop songs together, and I was like, oh, I love doing this. And then as I was like 14, 15, I started like emailing music publishers, and I would find like the producers of artists I liked, and I would blast them with like voice memos of melodies and things I would have written on my phone. And I just really had no like way into like the industry. I was like, I don't, I want to work with producers and help people like find people who are going to help me make an album and like do all these things. I didn't really know how to go about it, but I slowly figured it out and just started writing on my own. And eventually just figured out it became much easier, obviously, with streaming. You before had to be on a record label to be like doing anything in music, and streaming obviously changed that. So, and then, yeah, I started releasing a few years ago, but it was just kind of something I was born with. I loved to sing and I loved music and melodies.
And did you feel like you were encouraged, or you were a little bit like, oh, I'm afraid if I want to admit that I want to do this because, it's hard, or I'm nobody will, was there any trepidation or fearfulness about sort of coming out with your ambitions?
For sure, I like thought no one would take it seriously, and I thought I should like, have a job and impress family and friends, and just like not pursue the music path, which is like definitely not easy. And
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely so shy about it. I never told anyone. I was like, I don't feel like anyone will support this, and it's just like, why, do I probably wouldn't still advise anyone to take on a music career. It's definitely not easy, and it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of rejection, and a lot of just so much work. But I love it, so it's great. But yeah, for sure, I was like definitely so shy about telling anyone I wanted to like pursue this. I just thought everyone would judge me and not take it seriously, and that's not any way that you want to feel ever.
Right. Who were some of the artists, as you're kind of coming into your own consciousness that like you were watching, or that were meaningful to you, or that stirred you emotionally, or just inspired?
Yeah, growing up, like I loved Joni Mitchell, Bon Iver from like songwriting points of view. Like regardless if I'm doing like a crazy pop song or whatever, the lyrics have to matter. I loved like No Doubt, Gwen Stefani, Madonna, Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake. Did I say Outcast? All of those. They were,
What about
definitely
Britney, who's in all kinds of drama right now, I seem to
loved
see?
Brit. Oh, I loved Britney so much. She was that. I think I remember watching her 1-800 commercial when I was like 4, laying in my mom's bed selling Oops, I Did It Again, the CD.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's what I want to do when I grow up. I just want to, that's who I want to be. I like remember the thought and like watching the commercial.
And were there any influences in your own immediate family that were inspiring?
You
anybody?
obviously inspired me to be creative and not give a shit and just go do what I want. That's what I did.
Right. And of course, you have well, I say sister. She's my sister. She's your cousin, who's
Mhm.
also, blazing her own trail in music.
So talented and smart, and she's doing so well. And yeah, she's blazing for sure her own trail in music, and she's crushing it.
And that's, of course, I want to say Casey K, right? Casey K. There's the K
Mom.
is the clue to the last name for anybody who's trying to figure it out. The K unites us all. Here you got Bill K, Leah Kate, Casey K. It's all happening with the K. That's the key into the truth of who you are. So you had these. I have a recollection, Leah, when you were, I don't know, in middle school, and a friend of yours, I don't know, somebody mentioned to you about an audition or a movie that they needed middle school girls, and you said, Uncle Bill, can like I want an audition? Maybe we could. And then I got you the audition. Somehow I called the casting director, and then your text back to me. And this is just when people started texting. I mean, I wasn't really. It was just sort of becoming a new way of communication. And I got a text back from you. It was OMG, 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 OMG. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. When I got you this audition for this movie. Do you remember that?
I remember that. Oh my God. Yeah, wow.
And I knew at that moment, I go, oh, well, there's no, this is the world she's going to be, there's going to be no holding back, for you.
Oh my God. What did you know at that moment? What do you,
Well, I sensed really just from the beginning, as you kind of came into your own consciousness, that you had a kind of internal creativity and a desire to express, and almost like you were like doing selfies before they had selfies. I remember I got a camera, and you would love it when I'd come over and just take tons of pictures. I still have some of them. I have them on my computer. I was looking at them the other day, and you had a presence and a kind of self awareness that was like, I thought, a little bit, unique and cool. And so I could tell, and I always felt, as I watched you go to college, you went to Syracuse and Newhouse, and you were kind of on this creativity adjacent track, like you want to be in communications, but it wasn't like you were in a music program, or you were in an acting conservatory. But I could feel that. I was always frankly, I was a little concerned for you when you went to work at William Morris. Well, I thought, you definitely cultivated this business stuff, but I felt like I didn't know if that was going to be a happy place for you. And ultimately, you kind of found your way out of that, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I definitely was like afraid to jump in and, pursue it full time. I don't know why. I was just clearly scared and felt like I needed to go. I'm lighting incense, by the way.
Okay.
Go, yeah, like get a job and do all of that. And I did. And, I need to like make money. And I felt like I had to do that. But it definitely, in reflection, everything happens for a reason. And there's a lot I learned doing that. But yeah, no, what I wanted to do was always what I'm doing now. So you have to do some shit to realize that that's not what you want to do.
Yeah. And what was that experience like? I remember you got out of college and you got this job in the mailroom at William Morris, and it seemed like a great thing, and in many ways it was. But what was that experience like, for you?
Not great because I felt like I was like suppressing everything I wanted to do by working in such a corporate community. Now, I'm talking to that agency, but from the other end, like for touring. So it's funny how it comes full circle. But yeah, I mean, it was cool and everyone there is amazing. And I got to meet incredible people. So it was
Uh
worth
huh.
it for that. And, it was a great experience, but I wanted to be like performing and writing music and doing what I'm doing now. So not being able to do what you want sucks.
Now, I saw some months ago you did a live show.
Mhm.
Um, I guess it was with the Arizona soft drinks on Instagram.
Right.
And
For fun.
yeah, now is that something you want to do more of? Not necessarily for Arizona soft drinks, but just I mean, I'm doing it all the time. I'm doing a live show tonight, jazz, on Facebook, and then YouTube live on Saturday. Is that something you're thinking about? So people can just see you,
Absolutely. And I'm constantly singing songs and doing covers and originals on my TikTok account, which is kind of
hmm
like a performance like outlet for me. Now that I, can't do anything really live, I do tons on TikTok and like, so yeah,
Is that with
that's
like tracks and you just sing over tracks for tunes that you dig?
exactly, yeah. But yes, I want to do more live stream concerts. Hopefully, I'll do like a tour on Zoom or something like that. And yeah, just really take advantage of like the digital world that, has obviously benefited me. So yeah, definitely.
And let's talk about social media, the TikTok and the Spotify and Instagram and Facebook, which feels like it's just there for older people like me. But just talk about your learning curve with social media, how that started and where it started to dawn on you, the potential for you in terms of what you could do and express yourself as an artist.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like what really made my song go viral was TikTok. So in the pandemic, I was like, I'm really just gonna like hone in on this and try,
hmm
because I knew the power of it. And yeah, I mean, I was just like, we were all locked inside, so I was like, I'm just gonna write my best songs and just really focus and try to build my presence and connect with people online because that's all we can do. So once I really wrapped my head around that, then it just started like connecting and the song people just started finding it, discovering it, and it was super like gratifying.
Now, the TikTok is you're limited to a minute, right? I mean, each offering can't be more than a minute. Is that right?
Yeah, a minute.
So when you're doing these covers, are you just sort of compressing the songs and making them really short, or are you just getting cut off at the end? Do you have to kind of edit it for TikTok so it works?
I just do a minute, and people love like the short videos and the short content, so it
hmm
works. But yeah, I'll usually just do up to 30 seconds to a minute.
And then is your goal when someone sees you on TikTok to drive them to Spotify, like, or to YouTube? Where are you kind of sending them? What is Tik? What's the linkage from TikTok?
The ultimate goal is to have people go be directed to my music. So Spotify, YouTube, Apple, so they can then, stream my music. And
hmm
great driver to those pages. So it really works.
And so you have links on the page right away, so people just can click and
Exactly.
go.
I have a link on my TikTok that takes you directly to my music pages. So easy access.
And is that a preset link, or do you have to kind of put it up each time?
It's a preset link. It's just like in my bio.
Okay. And then where does Instagram live in this sort of orchestra of connectivity?
Um, I'm on Instagram a lot and I post a bunch, but I feel like Instagram's kind of dead. Like the big audience is on TikTok, and you could be nobody. You could have zero followers on TikTok and post a video, and 50 million people could see it. The algorithm really like puts it. If it's good, people will see it, and that's the beauty of TikTok, and that's kind of like why it's so great. You don't need to have any followers. If people like the video, it will be seen because the algorithm really picks up on that.
So there's a message maybe to me that I have posted 2 TikToks and I really haven't gotten my head inside of it. I mean, it's not that hard, but I'm dealing in so much long form material.
Mhm.
But I will definitely, and hopefully you will as well, TikTok this link to get to know, use TikTok to advertise this show, give people a chance to kind of find out more about, Leah Kate. Now,
For sure. Let's
so what,
blast it on the talk.
right on the talk of the tick. What makes Leah tick on the talk? It's all happening right here on A Rebel Without Applause, coming to you as I always do from my television studio apartment with my spectacular niece, who I'm so proud of. And I have to say, you've inspired me in many ways because there's something.
How?
What's that?
How so?
Well, first of all, your courage. I'm going to say that your talent is there and it's wonderful to see and watch it develop, and your songwriting and your singing and your emotional connectivity to your music is authentic and real. So it's not just about, oh, she's got a good voice. No, her voice is connected to her emotional life, which is a deeper thing. You actually don't have to have a great voice by some kind of operatic standard if it's connected to your emotional life. I think of Amy Winehouse and others. They're, or in going back to my favorite artists, whether it's Billie Holiday or Julie London, and just a whole series, they're singing. Their voice is connected to something deeper than just whatever the aesthetic is of their voice. But in addition to that, I admire your courage, and that with the creative spirit is the warrior spirit, meaning you're there to take these things to whatever this marketplace is, even though it's a changing marketplace. I mean, I don't even know what it is anymore. I remember when Jake was little, your brother, one of the things I used to love to do with him is take him to Tower Records and
Really?
say, this is cool, and this is a Beatle album, and I'd get it for him, and I'd send him, and then when things migrated to the digital world, I would send him gifts like tools to be cool,
Oh my God. I
you
love
know, and this was a cool album. You need to know this album or this album. I don't know if I had that chance to do it with you as much, but I did it with Jake, and but in those days, you buy records, and I still like to buy albums. Now we're in a different universe.
that.
I mean, I have a CD here. Where is it? My jazz CD. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's here somewhere. My record. I don't know where it is. But I could give someone a CD. They don't even have a player anymore, let alone, what do I do with this? Is this for a frisbee? No, you put it in a machine and you listen. So that world is over. And so here's a question that I guess more of a business question from an artist. What role do the record companies play today when you can get 12 million listens to your music and you don't have to talk to anybody at Capitol Records or Atlantic Records or Warner or Reprise, any of these big, what may very well be dinosaurs of the music industry? I mean,
It's
you couldn't
true.
even consider making a record or an album unless you had a record company. It required a corporate sort of support to do that, which meant, a big part of your life would be trying to get the attention of these people. What role do these companies play today?
I mean, it's every artist is different. There's some people that I just burnt myself, sorry. Some people that are like me, but then a lot of people aren't. Like I can wear like millions of hats and be like my publicist and do all these things that, whatever, just because I've had no really team around me, so I've had to do it on my own.
Uh
But
huh.
for someone like me, what would come in be really beneficial is like having capital and money to put into marketing and running ads and doing all of those things.
Uh
I'm
huh.
fortunate to have an investor for Fuck Up the Friendship, and I got a little bit of budget to put behind the song to really push it and amplify the organic moment that was happening around the song. But if not for that, it's like the record label kind of acts as a bank. So for someone like me, it would be nice to have a label to act as, you know, they offer connections, they offer, financing, obviously, they do everything. But no, you don't need a record label. I am fully independent, have no label. My song blew up, has almost 15 million streams, and no label has touched that. So you don't need one, but it's nice to have a label behind you with financial backing and all of that stuff that
And let's, and hopefully with the vaccine and, as the virus loosens its vice like grip on society, there'll be touring in the next few years and venues for you to play. Is that something that, you obviously, I think you want to do, right?
So I'm not allowed to say with who yet or when, but I'm actually confirmed for a tour in the fall. So
Okay.
a US tour um, supporting someone. But I'm not allowed to announce it yet. But I'm going on
Okay. Do your
tours.
parents know?
They do.
But your uncle doesn't know. Okay.
It's very recent news. I was gonna tell you, but just confirmed literally like 2 days ago. So news,
Okay. And
yeah,
so you will be, hopefully, at that time, venues will be open, right? And that's the point.
that's the
It's
point.
it's all it's all dependent on the opening of venues, right?
Exactly. So we have dates booked in the fall, but if that doesn't work, we have backup dates in the spring, same venues and same tours. So spring of
In,
20.
in case you need to wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, and I'm sure all of your fans will be notified.
Duh, of course. I can't announce it yet. I probably wasn't supposed to say it, but oops.
Okay. Well, you haven't announced it. So
Yeah,
the idea is that you'll be opening for an artist. Is that correct?
yes, correct.
And what kind of demand is that on you? Is it 20 minutes, 15, 30? Well, in terms of like what that means as a performer.
What do you mean?
Like, are you going to be on stage for 30 minutes, 40 minutes prior to the other act, the
Oh,
following act?
yeah, like 45 minutes
45 minutes.
opening for the other act.
So as you prepare for a live experience, you need to, I guess, assemble a band or musicians around you, or is that something you've done or you will
Yeah,
do?
I have my band. I have everything. I'm good to go. I have the best band. Chris, my MD and guitar player, and then we have a drummer. So yeah, I've got my band. We are ready to hit the road. We're excited.
Wow, and that'll be exciting. I can't wait to watch. I think
Yeah,
you'll have, I think I know a few people that will be following you to every venue around the country when that happens. I might be related to them. I'm just guessing.
you too.
Your mother, your father,
Right. Yeah.
me.
The first night of the show, the tour is in LA actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and well, I'm,
And
I'm not asking for hints, but would people know the headlining act?
yes.
Wow. Oh, that's exciting. I can't wait to hear more about it. I'm sure whoever's listening wants to hear more about it. And, you've talk about, I was extremely impressed actually when you got an article in Rolling Stone. So this isn't just something that's not been noticed, this emergence of Leah Kate, but, the biggest musical publication that I know of has decided that, you were newsworthy. Talk about that. How did that happen?
That was so crazy. I don't even have a publicist. The writer just reached out saying, "We want to write about your song." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is my dream come true." That was like my absolute goal to get Rolling Stone. Obviously, it's iconic. I still can't believe I have an article about me in Rolling Stone. I really just genuinely don't believe it. And sometimes I have to go like remind myself. But that was absolutely crazy. I mean, that I just my mind is still blown. I have nothing to say except for I can't believe that I have an article at Rolling Stone. So
So you're iconic now. And when you read the article, is there like a separation between like how people perceive you and who you are? Is there anything there that you're starting to feel like is you're kind of I think the digital world offers up fame in a vacuum. Like I'll do a show, I'll have a couple thousand people watch, but I'm still by myself. I'm not like in front of 500 people and feeling the excitement of that kind of appreciation. It's just all numbers on screens and view numbers. What's that like for you?
it's like it doesn't bother me because I feel like I have people and these fans and these online fan clubs and all these things. So it makes me not feel alone having these people that love my music and just connect. And it's all
Mm-hmm.
weird being on an Instagram live where you just see a number, but I still feel connected and to the people. So it makes me happy. It makes me feel less alone.
Good. Yeah, that's what I mean. For me, the whole experience that I've been doing with my Rebel Without Applause live shows is it's helped me deal with my own loneliness. It's like,
It really does. It's a weird new kind of connecting with people, but it's still connecting. So it's
yeah,
good.
and it has value.
It's good.
When people see you next on like a digital kind of delivery thing, so is there anything we can expect on a YouTube or just a live show?
Not sure about a live show soon, yes, but I will be releasing a new song soon.
Hmm.
So stay tuned. It's
Now, when you release a song, does the song is the song concurrent with the video? Does every song get its own video? It seems like you're creating not only a musical experience, but sort of an acting experience for you
I
as
love
well.
doing visual content. So yes, all of my songs will have video content. And it's hard because it's expensive making videos, but I find cheap ways to do it. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Like I love creating like a world and a story and visuals that really add to like the feel and meaning behind the music. So you'll always get a video with me.
So, and they come out at the same time, contemporaneously. The video. One thing I really liked and appreciated about your video, because your videos, and I encourage it, is that you put the lyrics in words, so it's almost subtitled slightly. Because I feel like in so much modern music, whether it's the pace, the mix, or the
Hard to
music
understand.
overwhelmed. Yeah, what was the song about? I don't really know. But with you, you've got these beautiful. I think that's a really cool thing because it's like it tells you about the song and the emotional experience that you had and that generated the song. And actually, that's the core truth in the end: is what is this connected to in your life?
Sure. And I just love lyric videos. They're people love them, and
Uh
it's easy
huh.
to see what I'm saying when you read it. And
Right.
so I love it as a visual component to my music. I think people like them, and they're fun and they're low budget and nice to make. So I enjoy them.
And who's doing the editing and the producing on the video for you?
I'm usually doing the producing and directing, and creative directing, and I work with a stylist who helps me with clothes. So I kind of do everything, and then I hire this girl who puts in lyrics for me and helps with the editing.
Okay.
And my friend will like shoot me on like her film camera. So it's pretty,
It's pretty fun. So have you filmed the new video that's about to come out?
I have.
And it's all edited and ready to go. Now, I want to ask you another question. And very often you're in sessions all day. You went to London and you're on, I guess today, you're doing these things via Zoom. What is a writing session like when you're trying to create a new song? I mean, how does that start? Just give people a sense and actually me a sense of what, a writing session is for you in terms of creating a new song or new music. Is it just, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, we'll usually start with like a production, a beat, and then we'll turn off our cameras, all go off on my own, and come up with melody ideas and writing ideas and whatnot. And we'll come back and play everything, put a structure together of melodies, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, all of that, and then write the lyrics, and then I'll record on my own, and then you have a song. So it's collaborating with people, but over Zoom. Same thing as you would do in real life, but just on Zoom.
And how did the inspiration start for Fuck Up the Friendship, the big hit? Like, what was the first, like, for example, I wrote and directed this movie, The Solar Opposite. And I remember driving on Sunset Boulevard. And I remember, like, this dialogue came into me, this idea. And the basic thought was, how much, it was two boys talking to each other, how much would you give away in looks to to get someone you could relate to? Like, as a measuring stick for a young guy to meet a girl. And I just had that sentence in my head. And then all of a sudden it began like a back and forth, a dialogue in my mind. And that was really the point of origin for this screenplay. It was very close to my own life. It was about a comedian whose love life was and is still a joke. And I remember that was just like the moment that the thought came that ultimately ended up in this movie, and I can recall other moments for screenplays. I'm curious for Fuck Up the Friendship, if is there a moment like that in terms of its inspiration that you can share?
Yeah, I mean, I was on my way to a session and I was like, I want to write about how I've been on 3 dates with someone who I thought was my friend, and I think I might like him, and I'm not sure what to do. And yeah, I was just super confused. I was like, I want to write a song about this. Like, I was starting to like develop feelings for who. And
Is this the guy that I know?
yes, it's about my current boyfriend.
Uh
So
huh.
yeah, it was just in the beginning. I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Because we had been friends for a year, and I was just like, fuck up the friendship. And then we wrote a hit.
That's cool.
It
Well,
came from the heart though. Every lyric is so honest and true to like everything. So, it's like
but you did not fuck up the friendship so far. It's still in existence, right? It's
I don't
still
think
happening.
but we kind of did fuck it up, yes, because we're not just like friends anymore. So our friendship is like fucked up. Now he's like a boyfriend. So
Da, da. There's a great song called "A Beautiful Friendship," which is the prelude to love. So that's
oh,
a good thing. And well, you got to hit and fuck up the friendship, and you got tunes coming, and you got a tour out there in the future, and you got record companies swirling around you like moths to a friggin' flame, and you've got this new life in Venice. It seems like, but for the virus, all of the Leah Kate stars are in a kind of happy alignment.
oh yeah, they definitely are. It's not always easy, and there's a lot of like stress and pressure that comes with it. But I'm grateful that I get to do what I love and just write songs and have people listen to them. So I'm super happy about that.
Well, on a happy note, I want to thank my niece, someone who I've known for so long, who I love so much. And this is the first of over 100 podcasts and now live Zoom casts
Oh God.
that I've actually done with a verifiable member of the fam, the K fam. So, Leah, I want to just officially congratulate you for this incredible success, but not so much success because you can't enforce success. But I want to congratulate you more for the courage to be who you are and to I know when you kind of stepped out of that corporate cocoon that was laid out, and it wasn't like you weren't doing well in it or couldn't succeed in it. I was very happy because I felt like she has the courage to be who she wants to be. And for me, that was like, I was so proud of you for that. And nobody can make you do that. It's something you have to want to do and be willing to do.
Mhm.
So
Right.
super duper congratulations for your journey.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see you live. And I can't wait to check out the new music. And let's just give the folks out there another heads up about where they can find all things Leah Kate out there in the digital divide.
Leah Kate Music on TikTok, at Leah on Instagram,
Uh
at
huh.
Leah Kate Music on YouTube, and Leah Kate on Spotify.
Okay. And then I hope in one of these songs you might have room for the licorice. By that I mean the clarinet.
Oh, I'm always down to bring in some clarinet to my next song. Let's do a collab, you and I.
All right, I'm down with that.
Me too.
Folks, I want to extend an invitation to check out all things Leah Kate. You heard it on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok. Subscribe to her vibe. It'll keep you going. She's so terrific. I'm so proud of her. And I want to thank you for sharing with me on this little Rebel Without Applause installment, Tik Talkin with Leah Kate. Till next time, folks. Namaste, shalom, and aloha. By that, I mean, yeah, namashaloha. Perfect. Good job.
Oh, thank you. That was super fun. I'm so excited to watch it.
Okay, good,
When
good.
does it?
I'm gonna end this meeting and then I'll call you right back.
Okay, perfect.